This week in the Spooky Coop, we unlock the ghostly secrets of the White House, America's most famous and most haunted residence. Hi everyone, I'm Paul.
And I'm Michelle.
And you're in
The
Spooky Coop. Welcome to the Spooky Coop. Hope you're not chicken. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, Paul. How are ya?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous.
Fabulous is wonderful.
Yeah.
And today we have some exciting, wonderful stories.
Oh, yeah. These are pretty good.
Yeah, this is all
I'm
about...
glad you thought about this. This is pretty good.
Yeah, this is...
Everyone could use some happiness.
We could all use... Yes. We could all use some happiness this week. This week, we're going to talk about the ghosts of the White House.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting way to kind of... No matter what your political views are, it's an interesting way to look at the White House.
Yeah, so everybody, please strap in. We're going to head for it here. By the way, please like us.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe. It's how we grow the channel.
And if you can do it, leave a comment.
Yes. And send us a story.
Oh, yeah.
Send it to spookycoop@gmail.com.
Yep. And before you get any further, hit the subscribe button. I heard if you hit the subscribe button right now, you get 10 years of awesome luck. And if you want to see a ghost, you'll see one. And if you don't want to see a ghost, you won't.
And in 3 months, you will receive a winning lottery ticket.
That's what I heard.
That's right. So welcome back to the Spooky Coop, the podcast where we dig up ghostly tales, eerie encounters, and all things paranormal with just the right amount of shivers and snickers. I'm Paul, joined by my partner in the peculiar, Michelle.
Ah, that's right. And today, we're stepping into one of the most famous haunted houses, the White House. Ooh.
You thought running the country was scary. Try sharing a home with centuries worth of ghostly residents. From former presidents to grieving first ladies, the White House isn't just a hub of political power. It's also a paranormal hotspot.
Buckle up, because we're about to take you on a spectacular stroll through the halls of history and meet the ghost of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Bum, 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 bum. All right, let's start with the MVP of White House ghosts, Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, my.
The man might have freed the slaves, led the country through the Civil War, and delivered the Gettysburg Address, but apparently he also never really left the White House.
Oh, no. I mean, are you saying that he really didn't go to see that play?
No.
No?
No.
No.
He saw the play. Well, part of it.
Yeah. He saw part of it. Lincoln's ghost has been seen many times in the White House. He might as well be on the payroll. He was first saw by Grace Coolidge in the 1920s, I think it was. She claimed to have seen him standing by a window in the Oval Office, gazing out over the lawn. I guess he was out there looking out. I assume he had his hat on, and that's how she recognized him. I really don't know, but that's what she said.
And she wasn't the only one. Winston Churchill, yes, that Winston Churchill.
Oh, really?
Had a run-in with Lincoln's ghost. After taking a bath in the White House, Churchill reportedly walked out of the bathroom completely naked.
Oh, geez, was Lincoln naked or
and
Churchill
saw Lincoln
naked?
Standing by the fireplace. But for Lincoln, it was too late. He saw everything.
Oh, he even saw Churchill's cigar?
Yes. Horrifying.
Oh,
That's
my
the
gosh.
time you scare a ghost.
Wow.
The British Prime Minister, being the legend he was, simply said, "Good evening, Mr. President," before Lincoln faded away with a horrified look on his face, staring at the nakedness of Winston Churchill.
I'd be afraid if I saw Churchill's cigar, too, even if I was a ghost. I mean, that would be enough to drop me dead.
And Winston's going to haunt us this evening for being so unkind about his manly physique. Forgive us.
You know, I heard that Lincoln's not the only one. I heard his wife haunts it, too.
Yeah, he's not the only specter lingering in the White House. His wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, was deeply interested in spiritualism and even held séances in the White House after their son Willie died of typhoid fever.
You know that her older son really didn't respect her as she got older, which was really sad. But her youngest son dying of typhoid fever was hard. And she was all into things like seances and stuff. It said that she believed that Willie's spirit was with her at all times. And she started to claim that the ghost was in the White House. His ghost was in the White House. And people believe now that her ghost and his ghost can be heard walking all around the White House.
Multiple staff members and visitors have reported the sound of a child laughing and running through the halls, especially in the rooms where Willie spent his final days.
You know, the ghosts of former presidents and first ladies are also not just Lincoln, not just his wife, not just Willie. They're not the only ones in the place haunting it. Andrew Jackson, they say, is haunting it. You know that he was a rough and tumble president, and it's said that he's all over the White House, too. His ghost has been heard laughing really loud in the Rose Room. I mean, it's the Rose Room now, but originally it was his old bedroom.
And then there's Dolly Madison.
Oh, I love her cakes.
Legendary cake maker and legendary First Lady, who was known for her charm and hospitality.
You know, though, if you eat too many of those, you end up looking like a cake.
And apparently, she wasn't too keen on change. When First Lady Ellen Wilson tried...
Was she the First Lady that ran in and saved the Constitution when the original White House was on fire?
I'm from Canada. How would I know that? Ask me about Confederation in Canada. It's something about a big bar fight, Louis Riel, and a bunch of beer, and then the next thing, Confederation broke out in Canada back in 1867. Didn't they trade
beavers or something? Oh, man, sorry I said that.
No, it was beaver tail.
Oh, jeez. You shouldn't say that either. This is a kid-friendly show, supposedly. Okay, go ahead.
The legendary First Lady was known for her charm and hospitality, I reiterate, and apparently she wasn't too keen on change. When First Lady Ellen Wilson tried to remove Dolly's beloved rose garden, her ghost reportedly appeared to stop the destruction. Workers were so spooked that they abandoned the job entirely.
Oh, I'm sad that rose garden is gone. You know, I saw pictures of it. It was really pretty. You know, there's other weird things, not just presidents and first ladies. They say that there is this phantom footsteps they hear all the time and voices all the time. And you know what? There is a demon cat in the White House.
The demon cat is wild.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it appears before national tragedies. People say it was seen before the assassination of JFK and the Stark?
You mean Stark? It's a Stark cat.
People say it was seen before the People say it was seen before the assassination of JFK and the stock market crash of 1929. Normally it looks like a regular cat, but if you get too close, it grows to an enormous size with glowing eyes before vanishing. It was a demon, I think. Pretending to be a cat.
Ah, I see. You imagine the size of the litter box?
Ooh. And what's inside? Never mind.
A cat that predicts doom. It's almost as good as our parrot that predicts doom. Yeah. Yeah, now that is a serious Final Destination energy.
Yes. And with that overview of the ghosts of the White House, we have a particular story here. So this story is called The Phantom Knock at the White House. Secret Service agent Daniel Carter sat at his post outside the Lincoln bedroom. He was sipping lukewarm coffee and reading a book. Most stories about the White House, most ghost stories about the White House, were just that. They were just stories.
Well, that's what they say, but we just read a bunch of them.
Right. And he'd worked there for nearly a decade.
And he didn't believe any of them?
And he'd never seen anything unusual. But that night...
Well, he saw a lot of presidents and families. That must have been unusual.
Some might argue they were rather paranormal looking as well. But we digress. That changed for him at precisely 3 a.m. one night.
Okay.
Isn't
that funny how everything seems to happen at 3 a.m.?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of ghostly stuff happens then.
And they thought midnight was the witching hour.
Ha! Naive fools. We know better, don't we, from all of our ghost hunting?
Yeah.
A sharp knock echoed from inside the Lincoln bedroom. I think a knock is more like...
Okay.
More than one.
All right. Well, you do the knocking, Mr. Knockmaster.
When he heard this, Carter froze. The room was not occupied, and its doors were locked. That was good. His pulse quickened as another knock followed.
Ba-boom. Ba-boom.
It was louder this time, and it was like someone was inside, demanding to be let out.
Let me out. I don't get out.
So he took a deep breath. He stood with his hand hovering over his radio, and he considered calling it in. But his hesitation won. Okay, his reasoning sense said, "Don't do this." He didn't want to be the guy who reported a ghost.
You don't really want to be the guy. Don't
be the guy. Instead, he took out his key and unlocked the door. Brave man. The room was empty. I'm
so surprised.
There was a gust of cold air that brushed past him, sending a chill up and down his spine.
Well, that wasn't very good. But anyway, I tried.
The temperature had dropped, and a faint scent of pipe smoke lingered in the air. His breath hitched as he turned toward the four-poster bed.
Oh, I can't make that sound.
And someone was sitting there. It was a man dressed in black with a high-collared white shirt, his top hat resting beside him.
Oh, come on. Lincoln is all dressed up sitting in his bed.
He sat with his elbows on his knees, hands clasped, eyes shadowed beneath a heavy brow.
Okay, so you're telling me Lincoln goes to bed fully dressed?
No. He appears as a ghost, fully dressed. He doesn't do a Churchill.
So Churchill comes out fully naked with his cigar for all to see.
But he was corporeal at the time. This is this is non-physical.
Okay.
And who's to say he went to bed? Who's to say he didn't just appear out of nowhere in the
on
middle?
his bed? Why wasn't he in a chair?
This is a moot point. Why? You ask him. I know not why. As a matter of fact, we couldn't we?
I don't know. I don't want to talk to Lincoln because he might tell me all about Winston Churchill's cigar.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell us more.
Carter's mind went blank.
Yeah, I would
when
too.
When he saw this. Every image, every historical portrait he'd ever seen, he knew exactly who he was looking at.
I thought his mind was blank.
And then, okay, if we want to go through the minutiae of the firing of his neurons, he was scared, shocked. His mind went blank.
It out. I'm sorry.
Every image, every historical portrait flashed through his mind that he had ever seen at any point in his life
there was
for
room
all those years.
Yep.
And he, after going through each of those images singularly and simultaneously in a linear fashion,
$5 bill, everything,
knew exactly who he was looking at.
Right.
One of the most famous presidents in history. Mm-hmm. And he blurted out, "Mr. President?" His voice barely escaped his throat.
Wow.
The figure lifted his head, deep-set eyes locking onto him as the air in the room grew heavier. Then in a voice that sounded distant yet thunderous, the president spoke.
What'd he say?
The desert rises in the east. The storm of the air comes as our enemy, whom we must repel.
Oh.
The figure lifted his head.
He didn't say, I liked the play? No.
He only saw part of it.
He only saw the first half.
The figure, he lifted his head with his deep-set eyes.
bad.
They were locked on him. As the air grew heavier, Carter's vision blurred. A rush of air swept through the room, and the curtains whipped violently. And within a blink, the figure was gone. The only thing left behind was the scent of pipe smoke and a deep, unsettling feeling in Carter's chest. The neck... Oh, that's so disgusting sounding.
I couldn't make a deep
Then
unsettling.
don't. The only thing left was the scent of pipe smoke. The next morning was August 2nd, 1990. He was listening to the news, and then came the announcement. Saddam Hussein, the leader of Iraq, had ordered his troops to invade Kuwait, marking the beginning of the First Gulf War.
Oh, wow.
From that night on, Carter never doubted the stories. Abraham Lincoln still walked the halls of the White House, and when he knocked, something big was coming.
Yeah, it wasn't a knock-knock joke. Hey,
No.
I know this isn't the White House, but I have a kind of funny story.
Is this about your brother Art?
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother and I, this has got to be like 20, 30 years ago, maybe more. My brother and I were visiting Washington, D.C.
Did Guantanamo exist around this time?
No, because I probably would have dropped him off. Anyway, we had gone to see into the Capitol. We were down in D.C. visiting. We decided to go see the Capitol Rotunda. And he had a cold, and he was carrying one of those packets of, what do you call it, like hot apple cider
Crystal
with vitamin
meth?
C. I don't even know if they had crystal meth back then. Anyway, he had...
Something for his cold and
yeah,
crystal
it was
form.
like, well, you had to put hot water on it. It was apple cider with vitamin C in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you put boiling
About
water
as
on it, and it made a little tea type thing.
About as innocuous as you can get.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had it in his pocket, because at lunch he was going to make it. And we walked into the Capitol, and he set off the metal detectors, because this thing is lined with a small amount of aluminum. And they grabbed him. They grabbed him and cuffed him and threw him against the wall, face first, into the wall, started patting him down. I swear to God, they were about to give him an anal probe like he was on an alien ship, okay? And I said, what are you doing to my brother? And then they grabbed me, threw me against the wall, started getting ready to cuff me when they pulled this packet of, vitamin C and apple juice powder, all sealed up and everything, out of his pocket. And they asked him, what is this from? And, he's all snotty and boogery. He goes, I have a head cold. And they're like, oh, all right. And they uncuff him and they let me go after, they pat me down. But they never cuffed me because they found that first. They pat me down and they make us write down, they take out our ID, they make us sign to check our signatures against our license and everything. And then they tell us, okay, you're free. Not even we're sorry. Not even to my brother, we're sorry that your face is black and blue. Nothing.
Sorry we face planted you against
Yeah,
that.
we're sorry we face planted you against a brick wall.
They're paid not to have a sense of humor, those guys.
Nope.
They have no sense of humor.
Not just sense of humor, no soul for apology. I mean, he ended up being black and blue on the side of his face. They just boom, right against the wall because of this little pack. With me, because they had already had him there, they didn't hit me. The guy who got me didn't hit me as hard. He put me against the wall. With my brother, they slammed him against the wall.
Poor Art.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway.
Years of stories just from that 30-second event, right?
Yeah. Oh, but the Capitol Rotunda was amazing. If anyone ever gets out there, I mean, I suppose if you live there, you've seen it a lot, but if anyone ever has a chance to get out to D.C. and you're not used to it, go out and see the Rotunda. It's beautiful. What's also amazing is that it's not what you think it is. People think it's that big part on top, but it really isn't. So it's really kind of cool.
So, hon, what do you think? Is the White House the most haunted house in America?
If you believe the witnesses, if you believe people who've seen it, like visitors, presidents, Secret Service people, yeah, absolutely.
Prime ministers and first ladies.
Yeah, people with cigars. I mean...
So whether it's Lincoln watching over the nation, or Andrew Jackson, or whoever it was, maybe even the demon cat of doom, the White House is packed with paranormal history.
Yeah, and honestly, with all of the chaos that goes on there, I wouldn't be surprised if some future ghosts start lingering there, you know?
That's a terrifying thought.
Yeah.
But I guess for now we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy this episode, subscribe, leave us a review, share it with your fellow ghost lovers, tell people about us.
And if you've ever had a ghostly encounter or have a theory about the White House hauntings, hit us up on social media or email us.
Yeah.
Email, send it to spookycoop@gmail.com.
And thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening, yeah. We're very grateful for your patronage and that you take the time to join us. If you give us 30 minutes in one day, we'll give you something to talk about for 3 days.
Yeah, that's right, because remember, this podcast is all about you.
Yeah.
All about you.
And our complete love and joy of talking about the paranormal.
Yeah,
Because,
and telling you about it.
Every morning, I know when we wake up, you look at me and go, my God, you look like a ghost.
And every morning, you wake up and you say, my God, she looks like a banshee.
No, you look like an angel, my love.
Yeah, one of those fallen ones.
I shall not use that well-rehearsed word that I've learned over the last 26 years. Yes, dear. Everyone.
He keeps mumbling all day long. Happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life.
Everybody, be safe, be happy.
And
we wish you a week of hope and wonder. Until next time, when we see you
in the
Spooky Coop.